Serena Williams, and all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and get into his response. Apparently, he responded to what was going on. And we're going to go ahead and get it popping. So make sure you guys hit a like for the out. This is a show. Listen, we do what we want to do over here. We do what we want to do over here. So we got our Henny. All right. We on a Henny diet right now for the show. So we're going to go ahead and have our good show. And we're going to have a good time. Let's get it popping, y'all.
Straight. To come on talking a whole lot of stuff about me because they did not like what I had to say about Representative Jasmine Crockett. She is a Democrat out of Texas, Texas's 30th congressional district. Her work, and her verbiage and all of that stuff speaks for itself. And she has become, a big time public figure in essence. Not just as a representative, but speaking out on a plethora of issues involving the current administration and the White House, et cetera, et cetera. And I made some noise last week because I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall, to say this about Representative Crockett when talking about the state of our politics in the midst of a government shutdown, by the way, that has unfolded since October 1st. Take a listen to what I had to say last week, please. You Jasmine Crockett or somebody like that. Ladies, I respect. Intelligent women, no doubt. But how a Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent, the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas. I don't know, maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated. We make it complicated. Damn, it's frustrating. It really can be. And all the verbiage and all the nonsense that I've heard.
I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. What did he say that was so wrong? What did he say that was so wrong? All he said was they need to be more accountable and they need to be more responsible instead of just spending all of their time going back and forth and trying to throw Trump under the bus and having all of these negative dispositions. They actually should probably work across the aisle because it would suit them better instead of being used as a mouthpiece and being showcased and being ghetto. What did he say that was off? What did Stephen A. say that was off? What did he say that was wrong? What did he say that was so mean and uneducated and not informed and that was so incendiary? What did he say that was off? Honestly, I'm genuinely curious. Can somebody give me some insight on what he said that was wrong? And she is ghetto. She ghetto as hell. She got the butterfly eyelashes on. She always got a weave on. We don't even know what her real hair looks like. She not married. We got very low standards. We got very, very low standards. We got very low standards. Did y'all know that it used to be a thing where you had to have or be the thing that you wanted to represent? I mean, let's just keep it 100. Like, we gonna really keep it 100 today. This is the 100 show. It used to be a thing. You're not even able to run for certain offices unless you are reflective or representative of what most people aspire to be. You used to have to be married. You used to have to actually have the results. How do we qualify people now? Because it's easy to say that I have a degree. It's easy to say that I have this level of work experience for other people. But how do we know that people truly represent our best interests? She's hood as hell, bro. She's an intelligent hood chick, an educated hood chick. Actually, you know what? I take that back. She's actually 10 times worse. Why is she 10 times worse? Because she pretending to be hood and she not even really that. Word on the street is that Jasmine Crockett is really the female Clarence, and Clarence's parents had a really good marriage. My brother's name is Gene, Gene. We just call him Gino. You know what I'm saying? That's just what we've always called him. I heard that Jasmine Crockett is cosplaying a ghetto woman. I heard she not even really like that. That she really from a good neighborhood. She ain't really raised like that. So all of this Crockett negative ghetto mess is really just her pretending to be something that she not. Yeah, I heard she really new. I heard that Jasmine Crockett is really new in real life. Now, I don't know how true that is because I haven't cared enough to actually do a deep dive on her, and I'm not on that type of tip. And so I just take people at face value. But how you gonna be ghetto, but you really not even cut from that cloth? So she 10 times worse. That means you not even really authentic, and you playing. They playing. Black people, Jasmine Crockett is playing in y'all faces. She playing in y'all faces. She's playing in your faces. And that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing because we hated them type of women. We called them slummers. Them type of chicks was slumming. Oh, you hanging out here in the hood with us? You ain't even supposed to be here. You supposed to be hanging out with Clarence. That's the more embarrassing part. Like, we would be even more like understanding if you was really cut from that cloth, but you really not even of that. You're not even of that ilk.
Heard over the last few days. Is why it can get exhausting. Because nothing frustrates me more than when people have the truth at their disposal and they choose, maybe not lie, maybe not even embellish, but allow their emotions to usurp facts, and all of a sudden want to use that as an excuse to label me as being something and doing something I'm neither not nor have I done. Which in this case is disrespecting Representative Crockett out of Texas, who, by the way, has had an invite to this show for weeks, by the way. Governors Josh Shapiro and Spencer Cox came on this show. Senator Lindsey Graham came on this show.
Jasmine Crockett is not what y'all think that she is. She cosplaying. She fake. That's why they only pull up to MSNBC. That's why they only go on those type of programs. They will never, ever go into a place where somebody will press them or ask them a hard question or any of that type of stuff. They playing games in y'all face, man. They not good. They not as they getting the alley-oop. They only want to go where Chris Paul is. They only want to go to Lob City so they can try to dunk it and sound more intelligent than they really are. You'll never see any of these. That's the one thing that I got smoked for when it comes to Democrats. How come y'all don't never go no place where somebody can ask y'all some real questions, where they can ask you really where you really from, where they can ask you some real stuff? How come y'all life is not as transparent as y'all require for other people's lives to be? I respect Stephen A. Smith so much, not because I agree with everything that he says. I agree with a lot of what he says, and then I disagree with a lot of what he says. I think Stephen A. is in a difficult space. I think he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and he's trying to figure out his space in this political sphere that he's trying to expand his platform beyond sports because he wants to be marketable to a greater audience. Stephen A. Smith, he wants to announce that he's Republican, but he doesn't want to abandon the blackity blacks. And so he's playing both sides right now. But I respect him because he's extending his platform to people of all on both sides, to both Republican and Democrats. And we know for a fact that Jasmine Crockett will never pull up to any place that does not make her feel comfortable.
Joe Manchin, now retired, came on this show. Bill O'Reilly, Bill Maher came on this show. Okay? And more coming. And she has an invite. And AOC has an invite. Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic House leader, he just was on this show. I've invited Jasmine Crockett. I have nothing but respect for her. I just disagree on what she's making headlines for because I think it's counterproductive to the ultimate goal.
Now, Stephen A., you know, if you keep trying to explain to people a logical stance, if they are against you, it's nothing that you're going to say. Look, and it don't even matter if you black or white. I seen people yesterday on TikTok via the videos that y'all were sending me, and they were still going at Trump for not getting the hostages released sooner. They were still going at Trump for not getting the hostages released sooner. I don't trust him. I'm mad at him. I don't like him still. I don't care that he secured a peace deal. I don't care that the leaders are saying that he secured a peace deal between Israel and Hamas. I don't care that the actual hostages gotten released and all of that stuff. They still gonna hate. Stephen A. is fighting a battle that doesn't need to be fought. What y'all gonna have to start doing is just saying what you said and stop explaining why you said it. Just say it, and it just is what it is. And you let the people that are intelligent enough to be able to sift through the BS have a conversation about whether or not they agree with you or disagree with you. Take a position and leave it at that. For whatever reason, y'all think that Steven Jackson gonna start liking Stephen A. Smith? You think that Serena Williams gonna start holding him down? Y'all think that the black community that had turned against him is gonna start actually having productive conversations and trying to parse through the information and do a follow-up on him? They not. They don't care about you, Stephen. They don't care about you, bro.
But yet, here we are. And the word disrespect comes in. And people try to engage with words, like disrespect and implying misogyny and all of this other nonsense. Stop it. Stop it. Can we be grown-ups and deal with what the real issue is involving what I said?
Nope.
Willie D, Roland Martin.
Now, I will say this about Willie D. Because I can call Willie D right now. I got his phone number. He actually hit me up and we chopped it up in real life. Actually, it's so funny because me and Willie D has come to the conclusion that we won't go at each other publicly. And if we have any disagreement with each other, we will actually have a conversation offline. Willie D says Stephen A. Smith is taking shots at Jasmine Crockett. Ain't just messy as weak. Dude is sitting on one of the biggest mics in America. Instead of using it to uplift, he's tearing down a black woman who's out here putting in real work. That ain't critique. That's betrayal. Jasmine Crockett ain't the problem. She's the kind of woman who walks into rooms full of snakes and makes the snakes flinch. Meanwhile, Stephen's showing what happens when the paycheck gets louder than the principal that sucker shit straight up. I actually am cool with Willie D, so I don't have anything negative to say about what he said because this is his opinion. I can call him offline and I can have a completely different conversation. And I'm a man of my word, so I'm never going to go at Willie D publicly. I would have a conversation with him behind the scenes. But there are a lot of people that don't like or has a difference of opinion when it comes to Stephen A. Smith because they don't like his takes when it comes to certain people.
Bakari Sellers and Angela Rye, who I have profound respect for. I mean, the list goes on and on with all of these people. I don't have their names in front of me to my producer that text.
Y'all be surprised how small this world is and how small the game is once you start getting to a certain space. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody is just a phone call away from being in contact with somebody else.
To me, I don't have my phone on me right now, so I apologize for not having those names in front of me. But what are we talking about? How's it disrespectful to say what I said? Could you just disagree? Could we just say, yo, Stephen A., I disagree with you. Here's why. We got Willie D. Put up that quote, please. He's putting out quotes or text or tweets about me. Let's see that again. Stephen A. Smith taking shots at Jasmine Crockett ain't just messy, it's weak. Dude is sitting on one of the biggest mics in America, and instead of using it to uplift, he's tearing down a black woman who's out here putting in real work. That ain't critique, that's betrayal. Jasmine Crockett ain't the problem. She's the kind of woman who walks into rooms full of snakes and makes the snakes flinch. Meanwhile, Stephen's showing what happens when a paycheck gets louder than the principal. That's sucker shit, straight up, end quote.
It's so funny to hear Stephen A. Smith curse, because you know you can't curse on ESPN.
Wow, Willie D. You sure are uplifting. I mean, I got to be touched. That was inspirational. Really, that really was. That was inspirational. I'm doing sucker shit. That's what you call inspirational? That's what you call uplifting? Really? Now, I haven't heard everything that Roland Martin said, D.L. Hughley had to say, and all the other names that I mentioned, but I'm sure it's along the same lines. None but respect. First of all, I'm going to be very, very careful about anything that I say about Roland Martin because he's a friend. I'm going to be careful about anything that I say about D.L. Hughley because I have respect for that man. We've spoken a few months ago. I got nothing but love for him. I am.
As part of the reason, honestly, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't disagree with what Stephen A. Smith is saying. I'm actually on his side when it comes to this issue in particular. But that's part of the reason, and one of the reasons why it's very difficult to be a person with a significant enough platform and to cross over a certain threshold or has a lot of visibility because you make a lot of friends. And what happens when you make a lot of friends is you start to have difficulty being honest. And I think that Joe Budden is experiencing the same problem. Joe Budden is experiencing a problem where it seems like he can't be as honest and transparent about his thoughts on certain issues or certain people or albums or people in the industry because he has alliances or he knows them in real life and stuff like that. And that's why I don't really want to be friends with a lot of people, because then it would prohibit me from actually giving you my authentic thoughts because I know them in real life. Stephen A. already has too many people that he's cool with, that he probably disagrees with, that he can't say that publicly. And that's a problem that comes along with being visible and making friends in the industry. When y'all get to a certain level, because there's people that's watching this show right now that is going to be way more successful than me. They're going to have more subscribers than me. They're going to have more, all of that type of stuff. When you get to a certain level, let me warn you, a lot of you are going to want to be in the industry. You're going to want to rub shoulders and elbows with people and all of that stuff. And let me tell you something. It's going to be difficult for you going forward because you're going to have to start having conversations about whether or not you agree or disagree, because the blinders is going to come off of who you actually think is dope based off of the fact that they are a celebrity or they have a lot of visibility.